Happy Feel Good Friday. We're going to be working on Chakrasana or wheel pose, a lot of opening with the back bends. It's really great energizing back bends today. And I said before, if you are a beginner, don't worry. This is an all levels vinyasa flow, and we're going to take you through the steps for a safe and foundational flow for this Chakrasana wheel pose. So don't worry about that. Let that all go. We're going to go ahead and get started on our mats today in Supta Baddha Konasana, one of my favorite poses. So Supta Baddha Konasana, also known as reclined butterfly pose. We come all the way down onto the shoulder blades, and then we bring the soles of the feet together to kiss, letting knees jet out in opposite directions. And seeing if you can just let the day go, let the breath go. The full moon was yesterday, and I don't know if anyone else was tied to their bedpost like I was, but my emotions were kind of everywhere. So for a grounding practice today, I'm going to place both palms on the earth. If you're looking and ready to receive all the new moon energy, go ahead and plant the palms facing the ceiling. And if you're looking for more of an introspective practice, place one palm on the heart center and the other palm underneath the low belly, feeling that prana, feeling that energy or breath within yourself. Seeing if you can get rid of that mental to-do list here. And see if you can settle into your breath. My mantra for today is, I release all things that no longer serves me or my dreams. What can you let go in this practice? Taking a full breath together, we inhale, filling the belly, filling the lungs, letting the collarbone expand, holding the breath at the top of the throat, and then exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, let the chest rise, holding the breath at the top of the throat. And then exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, full breath, fill the belly, fill the lungs, this time sealing the lips and letting the heat escape through both nostrils. I open to all that supports my growth and expansion. I release all things that no longer serve me or my dreams. Starting to dial into your Ujjayi pranayama or your victorious breath, creating that slight constriction in the back of your throat as if you're fogging up a glass or a mirror. Together we inhale, filling the belly, filling the lungs. And then exhaling, release from the nostrils. Starting to blink the eyes open here, maybe a slight gaze towards the nose. Bringing both palms on the outside of the thighs and then slowly closing your knees together like a book. Being kind to those hips early this Friday afternoon, bringing the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then starting to roll in these low back circles, giving that low back some love. First moving clockwise, and then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, both heels raise high to the sky, active listening. We're dorsiflexing in those fins, creating an L shape with our bodies. Pushing against those thighs, letting the bottom or that low back just touch the earth. Option to leave the shoulder blades on the earth, or option to up level and lift the shoulders, reaching past those thighs. Activating in that front body here, can you lift the shoulders a little bit higher? Pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Lift the shoulder blades a little bit higher. Can you reach a little bit farther past those thighs? 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Let that breath go. Start to create those low back circles again. First moving clockwise and then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, both feet come down towards the earth, low back kisses your mat. We're setting up for an early bridge pose here. So for that early bridge, we're bringing the palms to slightly graze the tips of the heels. Both feet are grounded down into the earth. Option to place those palms onto your mat. On the next inhale, we're pushing those feet down towards the earth and sending the hips high. Can you feel yourself just engage in the core, letting those glutes hang a little bit and just disengaging those glutes? Feeling the difference here. Now squeezing a penny in between the glutes. Feel how different it is when you inhale, engage the pelvic floor, and then exhale, release. We're still in this bridge pose. Inhale, squeezing that penny in between the glutes, active listening. Take one big inhale here. And then exhale, starting to ground down into the left foot. We're lifting our right foot high to the sky. Option to pulse here, or option to stay for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing those knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. And then exhale, releasing those heels towards the mat, setting up for a bridge pose one more time. Bringing both palms to slightly graze the tips of the heels. Both toes are facing the front of your mat. Maybe you ground down into those palms. On the next inhale, pushing the feet against the earth, rising the hips up for that bridge pose. Taking a moment here to feel the engagement of the pelvic floor. Can you squeeze a penny in between those glutes? And then exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze a penny in between those glutes, ground down into the right foot, and then slow and controlled, start to lift the left foot high to the sky if that's in your practice. Pushing into the right foot, maybe pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees come down into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then starting to create those low back circles. Grabbing underneath the thighs, starting to move up and down parallel to the spine. Rocking and rolling, giving the full back a nice massage. And then when you're ready, crossing at the ankles and meeting in a neutral tabletop at the top of your mat. In this neutral tabletop pose, our wrists are directly underneath the shoulder blades, knees are underneath the hips, about hips width distance apart. We're untucking the toes, dropping the belly low, sending the gaze high, bolstering your heart towards the stars, cow pose. Exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel, cat pose. Finding fluidity in our spine as we drop the belly low, send the gaze high, opening up the chest. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel. One more cat-cow, drop the belly low, open up the chest, send your tailbone towards the ceiling. And then exhale, ground down into those palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel. Coming back to neutral here, we're paying attention to those architectural lines just to make sure we have a strong foundation. Wrists are directly underneath the shoulder blades, knees underneath the hips. We're tucking those toes and then rising 2.5 inches off the earth for that lifted beast pose. In this pose or lifted tabletop, I want you to feel the line of energy through palm to shoulders. Gaze is in between the palms, finding a slight protraction in those shoulder blades. Take one big inhale here. If this is enough for you, you can always stay. If you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge, we're going to run through a few cat-cows with lifted knees. Dropping the belly low, sending the gaze high, opening up the chest. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel, still keeping those knees 2.5 inches. Inhale, drop the belly low, open up the chest, inviting those shakes into your practice. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine. Neutral tabletop, one more inhale, we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lifting the hips high to the sky, sending the heels towards the earth. Coming into downward facing dog or Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Bending generously in both knees, walking your dog out. And then we're creating this inverted V shape with our body. Feet are hips width distance apart. Palms are a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. We're sending our gaze towards the ankles to elongate the neck and sending the heart towards the tops of the thighs. Wherever you are in this downward facing dog, take one full inhale here. Exhale, gaze is in between the palms. We walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, active listening. We're sending the shoulder blades to press against the back wall. Slightly tucking the chin in, we have a completely flat back, as if you have your favorite plate of food on your back, resting, trying not to spill. And then exhale, release down towards the earth. Active listening, we're grabbing our palms, bringing them behind the neck, and then inhaling, slight bend in the knees, coming in for that flat back once again. Exhale, release down, forward fold. One more time, inhale, using the core, flat back. Exhale, release the palms down. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, reaching with intention for the four corners of the room. Gaze is in between the palms, maybe the palms kiss. And then taking a slight back bend here, bringing the tailbone in towards the top of your mat. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the palms, high plank. Bringing the feet back to that high plank. Wrists are underneath the shoulder blades. Heels are directly stacked above the toes. Can you hold here in this high plank? Just like that lifted tabletop, pushing the earth away from you, feeling that slight protraction in your shoulder blades. Tucking the tailbone in towards the navel. Take one big inhale here. And then exhale, tucking the elbows in towards the ribs, lowering down for low plank. Take one full breath here in this low plank, chaturanga. And then exhale, push the earth away from you, high plank. You're stronger than you think, yogis. One more, tuck the elbows in towards the ribs and slowly lower down to low plank. Exhale, use your strength, push the earth away from you, high plank. Tuck the elbows into the ribs. We're coming all the way down onto our bellies. Untucking those toes, keeping the palms underneath the shoulder blades. We're in Bhujangasana, or low cobra. In this Bhujangasana, can you push the shoelace portion of your feet into the mat? Can you press those palms here and slightly tuck the chin in towards the throat box? Maybe you challenge yourself with this cobra pose and start to lift the palms off the earth, sending the elbows to magnetize towards one another. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, can you lift a little bit further, feeling that back body turn on, sending the elbows towards one another. One more breath here, yogis. You got this. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, lift a little bit higher. And then exhale, plant the palms, roll over the toes, finding Ardha Uttanasana, or downward facing dog. Generously bending in both knees, really just getting groovy in our sun A's. Gaze is in between the palms. We look, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Create that flat back, tuck the chin. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. Gaze is in between the thumbs. Take a slight back bend here if you'd like. And then exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. You flow, you grow. Chaturanga, check in, high to low plank. Make sure you tuck those elbows in towards the ribs before you lower down. Upward facing dog this time. We're pulling our chest through, sending the shoelace portion of our feet to push down into our mats. Pressing the palms into the earth, letting the shoulders melt away from the ears and slightly tuck the chin in. Take one full breath in this upward facing dog. Inhale, find expansion through those lungs. Exhale, rolling over the toes, Ardha Uttanasana, downward facing dog. Taking a breath to reset here, both heels lift high to the sky. And then exhale, can you sink the heels a little bit closer towards your mat? If you do have issues with your low back, go ahead and bend those knees here. Remembering that this is your practice, your time to play. So if I ever cue anything that does not call to you, please honor your breath and honor your body. Gazes in between the palms, we look, step, jump, hover, float to the top of our mat. Moving one breath per movement, inhale, lift the chest out of the Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, reaching with intention, active listening. We're grabbing for the left wrist and then moving over towards the right side, grounding down into both heels. Can you spiral your chest towards the ceiling? Take one full breath here. And then exhale, maybe you sink a little bit deeper. Inhale through center. Exhale, grabbing the right wrist, moving over towards the left side. Can you spiral your chest towards the sky? Take one full inhale here. Exhale, maybe you sink a little bit deeper, grounding down into both heels. Inhale through center. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, high to low plank, you flow, you grow. Tuck the elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat. And then inhale, right leg lifts high to the sky. Option to keep that right toe pointed, or option to find that inner rotation of the toes and sending the hips to square off with one another. Bending in this right knee and starting to create those big circles here. Getting juicy in the synovial fluid of this right hip, first moving clockwise. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Maybe you give the knee a kiss, shoulders over wrists. Three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, cross-body hold. Inhale, three-legged dog. Right knee towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the right foot in between the palms. Active listening, we're grounding this left knee down towards the earth, untucking those toes, and then rising up for Anjaneyasana, our low runner's lunge. In this Anjaneyasana, maybe you start to find a little back bend here. Gazes towards the fingertips if it feels good. Or maybe you stay through center, squeezing up through the pelvic floor. Take one big inhale here. And then exhale, release the palms down towards the earth, finding half Hanuman or half split. Sending the hips back towards the heels, sending the gaze towards the back of your mat. Can you bring the right hip in line, sending it towards the back of the wall? Wherever you are in this half Hanuman, take one breath. And then exhale, walking the palms back to that modified easy twist. Right palm lifts high to the sky, gaze is there, untucking the back toes, and then rising up for that easy twist. Slow and controlled, we're rising up to that twisted lunge, creating balance on your mat. Creating a right angle with that right knee, opening up the wings a little bit wider. We're taking one full breath. Exhale, can you open up those wings a little bit wider? Stay. Right palm comes behind you, left palm paints a rainbow towards the ceiling. And then moving back into that easy twist, left palm comes down towards the earth. Slow and controlled, starting to bring all the weight onto the left side, finding Vashisthasana side plank. Bringing this left knee down towards the earth, we're in a modified half moon pose. So you can either bring your feet to be parallel to the top of your mat, or you can bring your foot over here, whatever feels good. We're going to ground down into this palm, lift the knee towards the elbow, crunch it in, and then exhale, release and bounce. Crunch it in, feel those obliques work. Release down. Last one, yogis, crunch it in, feel those obliques. And then exhale, bringing the palm down towards the earth, squaring off the hips here. Our right heel is lifted high to the sky. We're bringing it down to meet the left knee. And then rising back into that downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, taking a moment to reset. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Exhale, sink them deep into the earth. Inhale, both feet touch together at the back of your mat for proper alignment. And then lifting the left heel high to the sky for three-legged dog. Option to point the left toes or option to find that inner rotation of the hips, sending the left toes towards the earth to square it off. Bending in this left knee and then starting to create those big circles here. Getting juicy in this left hip. Really lubricating through the left hip, moving clockwise. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection, hold, feel your core work. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, cross body, hold. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left knee towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the left foot in between the palms. We're grounding this right knee down towards the earth, untucking the toes, and then rising up for Anjaneyasana, low runner's lunge. In this Anjaneyasana, can you send your hip towards the earth? If it feels good, maybe taking a slight back bend here, following the gaze of those fingertips. And then exhale, coming back through center. Taking one full inhale here in this Anjaneyasana, feel the belly, fill the lungs. And then exhale, plant the palms to frame the foot, and then releasing back, sending the hips for half Hanuman. You can either point the toe here or dorsiflex in those fins, whatever feels good in this half split. Take one full breath, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Inhale, walk the palms back upward, tucking the back toe, planting the right palm towards the earth, and then finding that easy twist, left palm lifts high to the sky. Taking one full inhale here. And then exhale, slow and controlled, grounding down into this left foot, finding that twisted lunge. In this twisted lunge, we're creating a right angle with the left knee. Opening up those wings, we're here for one full breath. You got this, yogis. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Left palm comes behind you, right palm paints a rainbow towards the ceiling. And then releasing back down for that easy twist, left palm is high to the sky. Slow and controlled, bringing all the weight onto the right side, finding Vashisthasana, side plank. And then dropping this right knee down towards the earth, maybe bringing the shin parallel to your mat. Wherever you are, whatever feels good with this right foot, we're coming into those oblique crunches, bringing the knee towards the elbow, crunch it in. Inhale, release. Exhale, crunch it in, feel those obliques work. Release. Last one, yogis, knee to elbow, really crunch it in. Release the left palm coming down to meet the right. Squaring off the hips here, sending the left toes towards the earth. And then when you're ready, bringing the knee towards the right. Finding your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, gazes in between the palms, we walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Adho Uttanasana, just to reset the spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, gazes in between the thumbs. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, high to low plank, you flow, you grow. Tuck the elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch. Sending the chest down towards the earth, finding your Balasana, child's pose. Remembering that child's pose is always an option for you here. I may not call for it, but know that this is a safe space on your mat. Bringing that awareness back to your breath, back to that intention that you set in the beginning of class. In this child's pose, we're taking one collective breath as a community Together. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Inhale, walking the palms close to the body and then finding that downward facing dog. Bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat, and then right foot lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog. Again, option to point the toe here, option to find that slight inner rotation, squaring up the hips, sending the right toes towards the earth. Scorpion tailing the right heel towards left glute. If that right armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you take this opportunity to square it off towards your mat? Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, shoulders over wrists. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, active listening. We're sliding that knee down towards the wrist. And then inhaling, shooting it back up, three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, cross-body hold, three-legged dog. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. We're planting that right foot in between the palms. Pivoting this back foot to 45 degrees and then rising up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. In this Warrior 1, we're creating that right angle with this right knee. Our back foot is pivoted to 45 degrees, grounding down evenly into both feet so we can zip up through the pelvic floor. Letting the shoulders melt away from the ears. Take one full breath here. Exhale, release. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, bringing the palms behind you to clasp, lifting the chest, and then surrendering the heart down for humble warrior, sending the crown of your head down towards your mat. In this humble warrior, can you use your fists as a steering agent to square off that right hip, sending it towards the back of your mat? Take one more breath here. And then exhale, transitioning back into that Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, with control and strength. One more deep inhale in this Warrior 1. You got this, yogis. I know those quads are talking to you. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, pivoting the back toe, and then committing to the bend in this right knee, finding Virabhadrasana 2, or Warrior 2. In this Warrior 2, our hips are squared towards the left. Our drishti, or gaze, is in between the right fingertips. Letting the shoulder blades melt away from the ears, take one full inhale with me. Exhale, reaching for something you desire, and then coming into peaceful warrior, letting the left palm melt down the left leg. Transitioning into Trikonasana, straightening in both legs, maybe shortening your stance a bit. Reaching for something you desire with this right palm and then hinging at the hips, coming all the way down for that Trikonasana triangle pose. In Trikonasana triangle pose, trying not to dump all this weight in the right palm. Can you press against this right shin if you don't have a block, lifting the chest a little bit higher? As if your body's in two panes of glass, slightly tuck the tailbone in. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana, straightening in both legs, reaching behind you. And then exhale, cartwheeling the palms to frame this right foot. Shortening the stance generously, we're coming into our pyramid pose. Before we surrender the heart down, can you inhale, take halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, send the chest down towards the shin for pyramid pose. Getting juicy in this right hamstring, option to stay where you are, or option to even lift those right toes towards the face, finding a little bit more of an intense stretch. If you're with me, go into flamingo pose, bringing the palms to face the outside or the back of the mat. Bringing all the weight into this right foot, and then seeing if those left toes can simply take off the earth. Sending the gaze towards the back of the mat, wherever you are in your pyramid pose. Take one full breath. And then exhale, release down wherever you are. Palms come to frame the right foot. Take one full inhale here. And then exhale, left heel comes high to the sky, finding your standing split. In this standing split, can you bring the left toes to find that inner rotation of the thigh to square off the hips? We're going to run through something a little bit challenging here, so slightly bending at the knee, running through a couple Shiva squats. Maybe you keep the palms onto the earth, tenting at the fingertips. Maybe for an additional challenge, you bring the palms into heart center. Slow and controlled, left knee comes towards right ankle, open up the chest for 1. Taking your time, standing split, left leg high to the sky. Left knee to right ankle, open up the chest for 2. Standing split, left leg high to the sky. Last one, yogis, you got this. Knee to ankle, open up the chest. Exhale, plant the palms, standing split, left leg high to the sky. And then bringing the left foot to meet the right, grabbing opposite elbows, ragdoll pose. In this ragdoll pose, inviting the knees to have a slight bend, inviting the chest to kiss the thighs. Finding a decompression in your neck and spine, letting the head hang heavy. Feet are about 2 fists or hips width distance apart, letting gravity do its work. Bringing both toes to slightly face one another for a slight inner rotation. Bending at the knee, releasing the elbows, and then rising up here for Utkatasana chair pose. You got this, yogis. In this Utkatasana chair pose, take a look at your alignment. If your knees surpass your toes, can you send that butt back? Slightly tuck the tailbone in, finding the natural curvature of your spine. Letting the shoulders melt away from the ears. We're here for 1 breath. Take 1 big belly breath. Exhale, release for that forward fold, planting both palms, high to low plank. You flow, you grow. Finishing your vinyasa here, tucking the elbows in towards the ribs as you lower all the way down. Upward facing dog or low cobra, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch, sending the chest down towards the earth, child's pose. In this child's pose, taking a moment to reset. Taking a moment to come back to that intention. Why is it that you showed up on your mats today? 1 more inhale here, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release, walking the palms close to the body. Active listening, we're coming into a little bit of a puppy pose here. So walking the palms in towards the body, finding this tabletop pose. Wrists are directly underneath the shoulder blades, knees are hips width distance apart underneath the hips. If you'd like to scoot to the back of your mat so you have enough room to expand and spread out, we're slowly going to start to walk our palms towards the top of our mat. Sending the tailbone into the sky and then sending the chest and chin down towards the earth. Maybe you stay here in this puppy pose. Maybe you start to sink a little bit deeper, moving a little bit closer to the top of your mat. Whatever feels good, feeling the arc in your back, maybe taking a full breath here. And then maybe slithering a little bit farther towards the top of your mat. Finding a decompression in this low back, take 1 more inhale here. And then exhale, start to slither all the way down into your Sphinx pose. Bringing the elbows in towards the ribs, sending the chest high and then slightly tucking the chin in. Taking 1 full inhale here. Exhale, maybe you release those palms, bringing the elbows in towards one another. And then exhale, planting the palms, finding downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, first bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat. Left toes come high to the sky, 3-legged dog. Option to point the toe or option to find that inner rotation of the thigh, sending the left toes towards the earth to square off the hips. Scorpion tailing left heel towards right glute. If that left armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you take this opportunity to square it off towards the back of your mat? Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. 3-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection. We're sliding that left knee down towards the wrist. And then inhaling, shooting it back up. 3-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, crossbody hold. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Plant the left foot in between the palms. We're pivoting that back foot to 45 degrees. We have a heel to heel alignment. Inhale, rising up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. In this Warrior 1, creating that right angle with the left knee. If there was a laser to come out of the left heel, it should directly bisect the right heel, or even in the middle of the right foot. Wherever you are bending into this front knee, take one full inhale here. Exhale, release and sink deep. Inhale, bringing the palms behind you to clasp, lifting the chest and chin high towards the sky. And then surrendering the heart down, finding humble warrior, sending the crown of your head on the inside of the left foot. In this humble warrior, can you use your fists as a steering agent to send that left hip back in line? Taking one more full breath here, fill the belly, fill the lungs. And then exhale, transitioning into Warrior 1 and coming right back where we started. I know that quad is talking to you, but we're here for one more breath. Control the breath, control the mind. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, pivoting the back toe and then committing to the bend into this left knee, finding Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. In this Warrior 2, our hips are square towards the right. Our drishti or gaze is into the left fingertips. Taking one inhale here, reaching for something you desire, and then finding that peaceful warrior. Sending the right palm to melt down the right leg. Transitioning into Trikonasana, straightening in both legs. Maybe shortening that stance a bit. Reaching, hinging at the hips, and then coming down for that triangle pose. In this triangle pose, we're trying not to dump all the weight into this left palm. So maybe you create a bind behind you. Maybe you push against the left thigh or left shin, to lift your chest a little bit higher. Wherever you are, in 2 panes of glass, slightly tuck the tailbone in. And then inhale, reverse Trikonasana, reaching behind you for that back wall. Exhale, cartwheeling the palms to frame this left foot. Shortening our stance generously, finding our pyramid pose. Before we surrender that heart down, can you halfway lift, lengthen through the spine, and then start to surrender the heart down towards this left shin? Couple different options in this pyramid pose. If this is enough for your hamstrings, you can always stay. If you're looking for a little bit more, maybe you start to lift the left toes off the earth. Maybe the right or both fingers come behind you to face the back of your mat. Transitioning into that flamingo pose, bringing all the weight into this left foot. And seeing if the right toes can simply tink off the earth. Sending the gaze behind you towards the back of your mat, take one inhale wherever you are in your pyramid pose. And then exhale, release. Bringing both palms to frame this left foot and then lifting the right heel high to the sky for that standing split. Can you bring the right toes down towards the earth to square off the hip? If you're here with me, maybe bringing the palms to tent at the top of your mat. Maybe bringing those fingertips in towards the chest. Running through 3 Shiva squats, right knee comes down towards left ankle, opening up the chest for 1. Exhale, standing split, right leg high to the sky. Right knee to left ankle, open up the chest for 2. Exhale, standing split. Last one, yogis, you got this. Right knee to left ankle, open up the chest. And then exhale, plant the palms, right foot comes high to the sky. Sending the right toes towards the left, grabbing opposite elbows, ragdoll pose. In this ragdoll pose, letting the head hang heavy. Finding a slight inner rotation of the toes and a bend in both knees, inviting the chest to kiss the thighs. We're running through 1 lion's breath here. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, stick that tongue out, let an audible breath go. Ha! One more time, inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, stick that tongue out, let that shit go. Ha! Slightly bending in both knees, keeping the bind on those elbows. Active listening, we're rising up into Utkatasana chair pose with the bind. Just like life, yogis, when things get tough, we stay up. Grounding down into both feet as if you're trying to rip your mat in 2. You should feel your outer glutes turn on. Taking one full inhale, finding expansion through your lungs. And then exhale, can you sink deep? Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, rise 1 inch. Exhale, can you sink for 2? One more, yogis. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, let the collarbone expand. And then exhale, planting the palms towards the earth, finding your high plank. Tucking those elbows in towards the ribs, coming all the way down onto the belly. Untucking the toes here, and then releasing the palms, finding a mini belly shavasana. Bringing the forehead towards the earth. And then maybe massaging that third eye center back and forth. Inhale, walking the palms close towards the body here. We're in a modified Sphinx pose. So we're going to get juicy in a little bit of these back bends. So in the Sphinx pose, we're bringing both feet together to touch at the back of our mat. The shoelace portion of our feet are grounding down into the earth. Sending the elbows in towards the ribs, planting both palms, and then slightly tucking the chin in towards the throat box. Take one full expansive breath in the Sphinx pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, walking the palms out in front of you, and then sending the palms behind you to clasp as if you were in that humble warrior. With this clasp arms, can you push the shoelace portion of the feet into the mat? Inhale, rise all the way up, tucking the chin in, finding a modified locust pose. In this modified locust pose, can you take one full inhale here? And with that exhale, can you lift, sending the fists closer towards the back of your mat? Taking one more breath here, inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release down, planting the palms underneath the shoulder blades. Bringing the top of the head or third eye center towards your mat, and then maybe rocking back and forth, moving from side to side. Moving into full locust now. So we're bringing the palms behind us to clasp. Both feet are grounded down into the earth with the shoelace portion of our feet. Inhale, rise up, lifting from the chest, using that back body to turn on. Slightly tucking the chin in towards the chest and taking one big inhale here. Exhale, maybe you squeeze the thighs together and start to lift the toes off the earth for that full locust. With that inhale, can you bring the fists a little bit closer towards the toes and tuck the chin in? We're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing the palms down towards the mat underneath the shoulders. And then moving into your Balasana child's pose, sending the chest and chin down towards the earth. In this child's pose, giving our spine a moment just to reset. Inhale, walk the palms into that tabletop pose. We're going to run through a few cat-cows just to reset the spine. Drop the belly low, send the gaze high, bolstering your heart towards the stars, cow pose. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes towards the navel, cat pose. One more for good measure, drop the belly low, open up the chest, send the gaze high. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel. Inhale, coming back to neutral. We're going to walk through that puppy pose one more time because it feels good and because it's a really good opener for where we're about to go for wheel pose. So here we drop down to our forearms in this tabletop pose. Running through just one cat-cow here to feel the difference, dropping the belly low, sending the gaze high. And then exhale, rounding the spine, pushing into those forearms, gazes to the navel. Inhale, drop the belly low, send the gaze high for one more cow pose. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine. Starting to slowly walk the palms closer towards the top of your mat. As you extend the arms and send the chest and chin towards the earth. In this puppy pose, remembering to look straight on. Taking your time, maybe you find some wiggles through the spine. Maybe you start to melt a little bit further. Whatever feels good in this puppy pose, we're taking about 2 breaths. Really finding expansion through your breath, through those lungs. Inhale, fill the belly. And then exhale, release. Can you send the tailbone a little bit higher towards the ceiling? One more breath here. Inhale, fill the belly. And then exhale, slithering all the way onto the belly. Planting the palms underneath the shoulder blades. We're rising back up into our high plank to downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, gaze is in between the palms. Slowly tiptoe all the way to the top of your mat. So you're in that forward fold once again. Taking a halfway lift out of the Uttanasana and then bringing the palms behind the neck. Finding that flat back here, bringing the elbows towards the opposite walls. Take one inhale here. A slight bend in the knees to help that lower back. And then exhale, release down. One more inhale, halfway lift, using those elbows. And then exhale, releasing, coming all the way down towards the earth, sending the glutes down. So here we're in a Malasana Yogi Squat. Ultimately, our goal in this Yogi Squat is to have the toes facing forward. But if that doesn't work for you today, open up to a first position. Bringing the elbows in between the thighs and then lifting the chest and chin, lengthening through the spine, sending the crown of your head high. Slightly tucking the tailbone in, dropping this left palm down towards the earth. And then right palm lifts, finding that twisted Malasana squat. Maybe you reach behind you for that full bind, lifting the chest and chin. And then exhale, releasing through center. Taking a moment to wiggle and groove around, bringing the elbows in between the thighs, take a halfway lift. Exhale, right palm comes down towards the earth. Left palm lifts for that twisted Malasana. Maybe you take that bind, reaching behind you for the palms or even for opposite wrists. And then once you have that bind, maybe you lift the chest and chin. Coming down through center. Coming all the way down onto the glutes, and then finding this L shape or staff pose. Staying so active in our feet, dorsiflexing those fins, sending the toes towards the right shins. Your heels should magically lift off the earth. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. Exhale, Paschimottanasana, flat back, reaching in front of you, sending the palms towards the top of your mat. In this Paschimottanasana, I want you to think chest to thigh versus nose to knee. So we're keeping an up dog quality in our chest, finding the integrity of the spine. Maybe that looks like this today with both knees bent, and that's totally okay. Maybe you challenge yourself and reach a little bit further. Wherever you are, we're scooting all the way up to the top of our mat. Walking the palms high towards the thighs. Bringing that imaginary beach ball out in front of us and then slow and controlled using that core. We're coming all the way down onto the earth. Taking your time here, counting all 33 vertebrae on the way down. Challenging yourself, remembering to breathe. How slow can you go? Inviting those shakes into your practice, yogis, that means you're getting stronger. And when you're ready, letting the shoulders melt down towards the earth. And then bringing the heels in towards the glute. So we're going to set up for one bridge pose before I walk us through that Chakrasana wheel. We've been through this bridge pose before, but I wanted you to feel how the engagement of your glutes makes such a difference. So first, reaching for the tips of the heels for a strong foundation. Planting the palms into the earth beside you, and then grounding down into all 4 corners of both feet. Can you lift the hips high to the sky, sending the knees to face the top of your mat? Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, really press into those feet. We're holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, releasing the glutes down to the earth, and then windshield wiping the knees from side to side. Moving into Chakasana wheel pose if you'd like. If you have a block near you and you'd like to use it, you're more than welcome. I like to put the block in front of the mat and then bring my feet together. Because sometimes when I come into wheel pose, my feet start to warp and my knees start to jet out in all these weird directions. So this block is a good tool, or even a thick-ass book if you have one of those, just to keep yourself in check without really thinking about it. So in this wheel pose, first bringing the palms a little bit wider than our shoulder blades. So maybe even farther, whatever feels good. Sending the tips of our fingers to face the top of the mat. From here, grounding down into both feet as if you were lifting up into that bridge pose. Taking one full inhale here, grounding down into all four corners of both feet. Start to lift up through the palms, engaging in the chest, and then sending the crown of the head towards the mat. If this feels good, take one big inhale here. And then exhale, come back down if it doesn't. Just taking our time to run through this wheel pose. Resetting the palms, bringing them on the outside of the shoulders. And then seeing if you can push the feet into the earth, pushing the palms simultaneously and sending the crown of your head to the top of your mat. If that feels good, take one big inhale here. Exhale, pushing the earth away from you with those palms and then sending the gaze towards the back of your mat. In this wheel pose, can you release in those glutes, pushing down into the feet? And then maybe finding an expansion through the top of the ribs. Sending the navel in towards the spine. Take one big inhale here wherever you are. And then exhale, maybe you slowly start to release, bending in the knees. Seeing if the butt can come down before the crown of the head. And then releasing, bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. Starting to rock and roll back and forth, creating those low back circles. So wherever you are in your journey to wheel pose, know that there are a lot of steps you can take to help you get to that wheel. Another one that I just wanted to show you guys is working with the wall. So working with the wall here, just to show you a little example, I'll move my little fern out of the way just for a moment. And a good measuring tool is to just bring the palms out until they touch and they're flush against your wall. Turning around here. And then coming in your Tadasana mountain pose. From Tadasana mountain pose, reach root to rise, reach all the way up, taking that slight back bend, tucking the tailbone in. Reaching for the back wall. And from here, maybe you start to walk the palms down. Wherever you are in your journey to wheel pose, maybe you move all the way down to the back of your mat. Maybe you stay and hang out here, feeling yourself push against the wall. And then when it becomes too much, walking your palms back up. So remember that this is a journey to wheel. This isn't something that is just going to happen overnight. Be kind to your body. Take that active resting pose. Take that counter pose here. Bringing both knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. And then bringing the right knee in towards the chest, letting the left foot drop down towards the earth. Setting up for a supine twist, right knee comes cross body, then bringing the palms out to a T. Can you simultaneously bring the right knee towards the earth while grounding both shoulder blades into the earth? Maybe this left palm reaches for the right knee, sending it closer towards the earth. Inhale, come back through center. Bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze, find that center line. And then exhale, releasing this right foot down towards the earth, keeping the left knee in towards the chest. Cross body, left knee comes over towards the right side, and then open up the palms to a T. Can you feel both shoulder blades ground down into your mat while you bring the left knee a little bit closer towards the earth? Maybe that right palm comes on top of the thigh, helping it to get a little bit closer towards the earth. And then when you're ready, bringing both knees into the chest and taking whatever final pose that you'd like. So maybe it's an inversion of your choice. Maybe you come through legs up the wall. Maybe you take a shoulder stand or headstand or even a handstand. Whatever inversion in your practice, we're letting all the blood flow from our feet down towards our hips. And then when you're ready, taking a few breaths wherever you are. Maybe coming into that happy baby, grabbing opposite sides of the outside of the feet. And then starting to give your back some love, rocking back and forth, moving side to side. Who's to say what makes your baby happy? So whatever feels good in your body, choose that. And when you're ready, releasing all the limbs, moving any blocks, any water bottles out of the way, any negative thoughts. This is what we worked for. This moment of bliss. While we've proven some flexibility on our mats, can we find that flexibility outside of yoga? Knowing the real yoga starts when we step off our mats and into the world, how can we go with the flow? How can we be flexible through our anxieties, through these differences, and through our new norms? Taking a full body scan, releasing to the crown of the head, through the arms and the chest, through the belly, the hips, and the thighs, releasing in the toes. I release all things that no longer serves me or my dreams. I open to all that supports my growth. I open to all that supports my expansion. I embrace the doorways opening to transform my life. Miracles flow to me in every breath. Starting to bring awareness back to the body, we wiggle our fingers. Inviting life back into our toes, we give those a little wiggle. As if you're waking up for the very first time this Friday morning, reaching behind you for that good morning stretch. And then sending the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a squeeze, thanking yourself for showing up on your mats today for self-love and self-care. Choosing either the right side or the left side to fall onto a fetal position using your bicep as a pillow. This pose represents rebirth, knowing that every single time we step off our mats and into the world is an opportunity for us to begin again. Planting both palms into the earth, rising up to a seated position facing any which way you desire. Palms come to reach, gathering all this beautiful energy we've created as a community, and then down to heart center for gratitude. The perfectly imperfect student in me bows, honors, and respects the teachers in all of you. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your Friday practice. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, so much. Thanks for joining me. Happy Feel Good Friday. If you feel so inclined to make a donation, I have all the links on my bio through Instagram. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube, you can watch these videos over live, and you also have some options for different stretches throughout the day. So thank you so much again for joining me. If you have any questions about Chakrasana or any back bends or anything that's feeling good or bad in your body, let's chat and let's connect. Thank you so much, yogis.